Me, r/dank memes or r/memes. Friend, r/funny. Me, I see you are a man of culture as well.
Hey, what's up you guys, it's me, Panda here, back with another video. Today, we'll be seeing some more r/nuclear revenge. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, of course. I'll be seeing you guys at the end of the video. I'll be using the same format as the last video, that the robot talks in the middle. I say some information at the beginning, and I say some information at the end. Hope you guys enjoy. See you guys at the end of the video.
Haha, that's right, Basov. Anyway, hi guys, let's begin reviewing some of those posts. Entitled "Engineer Makes a Mistake He Will Regret the Rest of His Life." This is a story that I thankfully didn't witness, but my coworker did. An engineer relocated with his wife to a small town while he supervised a local engineering project. He had 3 daughters who lived in the neighboring city and would visit him constantly. While he wasn't exactly rich, he was considerably wealthier than the average habitant of this little town. This made him and his wife extremely entitled. He would do as he pleased and then bribe the police to avoid repercussions. He made himself infamous for cheating on his wife constantly. One day, he laid his eyes on a local 18-year-old girl. The girl didn't like him back, so she rejected him. One day, he got drunk and raped the poor girl. He hurt her so bad, the girl was left in a wheelchair for life. The girl's father tried to bring him to justice, but the engineer used whatever money he had to bribe the police. What not many people knew is that the girl's uncle was a local drug lord. The father and the uncle hadn't spoken for years and the girl hadn't even met her uncle. But when the drug lord learned what happened to his niece, he decided he would have his revenge. A few weeks later, my coworker was working as a gardener for the engineer when the cries of young women caught everyone's attention. Outside the engineer's house were the drug lord's men, who had captured the engineer's daughters. In front of the engineer and his wife, the men used machetes to cut the daughters' legs. There was blood everywhere, but the worst was the cries of the 3 women. They were rushed to the hospital, but 2 of them bled to death on the way, while the 3rd one was left, obviously, wheelchair-bound for life. While my coworker has since left his town, he says people told him the engineer's wife hasn't said a single word since that day. Edit. People have asked me for news coverage of this event. This story happened during the opening years of the war on drugs in northwestern Mexico, a time where both the government and the drug lords, they are usually the same people, BTW, did everything within their power to keep news like this from being published. I will try to find some and ask my coworker, but I can't promise anything. They stole Christmas presents from my foster kids, so I stole the Christmas season from them. My wife and I once lived in an apartment complex in our first year and a half of marriage. Mail mix-ups were common there, so it was a bi-weekly routine to take a very quick trip to the main office, drop off a mislabial package, and head home. Jump a year into the future, and we have a home, and are taking care of foster kids that have just recently entered the system. We desperately want them to have a good Christmas, since life has dealt them so many bad hands. Just once I want them to experience a Christmas where they feel more valued than drugs and get more out of the holidays than sexual abuse thanks to their biological family. We ordered the gifts off of a site we used to order more frequently from, but haven't ordered gifts from there in a while. We found the perfect gifts. They were on sale, so that allowed us to get more for them and everything was falling right into place. But then it happened. A day later we checked our email, and to our horror, we realized the computer saved our old address, and even though we originally put in the right address, the computer auto-filled the rest of the information. That sent the packages to the old apartment complex. We called the store. They wouldn't help us at all. So we called the apartment complex to try to get ahead of this before they were delivered. This was all going to go well until the current resident of our old apartment completely overreacted to the news. Out of 4 boxes that were delivered to that complex, he only returned 1 and threatened if this happens again, I'm going to destroy these gifts. Turns out, he had all the packages and were keeping them knowing full well that we lived fairly close and that they were for foster kids. We called and contacted the complex multiple times, and they had the same sad news. Either the guy wouldn't return a call or he would just angrily hang up. So I took a drive past my old apartment. I saw what car he drove, and then I saw that he obviously had some sort of family. I had one of two choices. I thought of letting it go. I thought about the spirit of Christmas, and how the new year was a mark of a new start. Then I thought of him bringing stolen gifts to other people, because this scummed Weller wouldn't buy gifts for the ones around him either. This is when things turned dark in my mind. He tried to take gifts away from foster kids who have had their home taken from them. Why not take Christmas away from him? Why not take away his home? Whatever he has experienced in life to lead to this event, I want him to suffer even more for this injustice. In a right mindset, I talked to a cop friend of mine, and there wasn't much I could do without going to small claims court and spending a good bit of money. I even posted on r/legaladvice to get some help and got similar answers. The plan executed as follows. Parked on a hilltop overlooking the complex. Luckily the apartment is close to the base of the hill, so I had a perfect spot to observe. After I waited for the guy to come home, I made note of his vehicle to confirm that was indeed his car, and then went to the store. I picked up several dozens of eggs and a can of spray paint and went back home to await nightfall. I went back out around 2 AM. I premixed the eggs and kept all of the shells. I went to a more secluded spot away from the complex where I knew I could park and find a route that didn't have any sort of security cameras. I snuck up carrying a bowl of pre-beat eggs, the shells, and the spray paint in my hoodie pocket. I carefully laid the ingredients down that would be used to concoct my revenge. I was shaking. I'm still shaking as I write this. I pulled out the spray paint that I shook before getting out of the car to reduce noise. I used to paint a "Right Home Wrecker" on the hood of his car. Then I poured the eggs from the roof and poured towards the back as to not let the mixture ruin the message on the hood. I laid the eggshells around the car. I placed a note on the bush outside of his door that read "Fertilize these eggs," in hopes that his wife or partner would see it. Then I took a pocket knife and flattened the driver front and passenger rear tire, since some insurance will cover it if all four get slashed, and I wanted to do something a spare tire wouldn't be able to fix. I went to flatten the third tire, but I saw headlights of someone heading into the complex, so I had to bail. I made me way back carefully to my car and drove off. I don't know how all of this had an effect, but I'm afraid to go back again and check on things without raising suspicion. So far no one has reached out to me to ask about the incident. I made it out, but I will update if I find anything else out. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Update. I went back because it was killing me. I wanted to drive by and take a picture for you guys, but the car is gone. The shells are still littered on the ground, but it looks like the car was towed. There were also remains of a broken coffee mug at the base of his door. I like to imagine that he walked out, saw it, and spiked it into the ground out of anger. Or maybe his wife saw it and chucked it at his dumb head. I want to imagine that it destroyed his home, so he can get a taste of what a broken home feels like. Just like how these foster kids have had to experience this time of year their whole lives. I told my family that someone had stolen or destroyed the packages and they are all chipping in to shower the kids with gifts, so they will not be without. Of course I didn't tell them about the gifts or the plan of revenge on their behalf, but the great gift I will have received this year is that some sense of justice has been fulfilled. The best gift is being able to give these kids a Merry Christmas and the look on their faces when they get all of these gifts. Well, there's not enough time for another post, so I'll show you the rest of the gamma play I guess. Skip to 10:40 for the outro.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And be sure to subscribe and like. I mean, you can't forget that. Can you, robot?
No.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.